Hey, good morning everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to make pierogi dough. This is a really good recipe and it comes out just nice. I hand roll my pierogies. I mean each one. You guys can do the sheet, whatever you want. But it's a really good dough. Now, for this I'm using my faithful, really old stand mixer. I mean, this one comes with a walker attachment, just kidding. If you want to do this by hand, I recommend it if you've got the time. Because any dough product that you do by hand, you've got way more control than when you use one of these. But I've got a lot of stuff planned that I want to do today, so I'm going to do the time saver, get out the dough hook, and do it in here. Okay, so here's the list of ingredients. Okay, now if you've got an issue with using the lard, you can use vegetable shortening. That will work out as an equivalent. I'm not sure about oil or butter. Now, a word about the ingredients. Okay, you've all seen all-purpose flour, which I've already put in there. Now, if you're not used to blending flour is usually used to make sauces. And if you notice when you shake it, or you'll see it when I pour it, it's got a different property, okay? It's just more velvety. I think it's got a smaller particle size. And it just is wonderful for this. So equal parts of all-purpose and blending. If you can't get blending and you got all-purpose, yeah, it'll work, but it'll come out like a little tougher, so you'll have to let the dough rest longer. So I'll just get that mixed up for a minute. I use the same cup and just put some water in here. Now, I visually estimated 15 mils. That's pretty close. You don't want to use too much for this. And just let the lard dissolve in the water. Usually I'd like to use warm water for the dough, but because I'm putting the lard in here, I'm using hot water so that the lard will dissolve and the temperature of the water will go down and everything will be fine. Crack the egg in a small bowl. This is a good practice for baked goods because if for whatever reason the egg has gone bad and you crack it directly into the ingredients, you have to toss all of it. Whereas this way you can look at it, you can smell it, it's fine, so that goes in. Same thing with the sour cream. I'm just going to visually estimate 15 mils, pretty close. Pop that right in. The lard is nearly dissolved, but this is a sort of guessing game. You don't want to wait so long that the water cools off and all the lard sticks to the sides of the cup and it's just a mess and you have to get a spatula. This is pretty good. So I'll just toss all of that in, or half of it. Yeah, whatever, a little. Some people incorporate things in stages. I found over the years that honestly, in most cases, it doesn't actually make a difference, as long as you start at a low speed at the beginning, because you don't want everything flying everywhere. Now I just stuck a spatula in quick because I was getting a little concerned, because if you notice, this is looking like pancake batter. This is not looking like dough. So I suspect there's a lot of flour down there, so I stuck the spatula in. I was correct. And I'll just show you how it changes. This is what I'm saying, that you don't need to waste a lot of time at the beginning. Blending in stages, all you have to do is kind of get it all started and then do this. Yeah, there's dry stuff at the sides that's going to get caught up, so I don't want to speed it up too much right yet. Looks like it's caught. Now, depending on where you are, I'll give it one final scrape, but depending on where you are, you may need to add a slight extra quantity of flour, which I will do now. And you're going to add it in very small increments because you can see how thick the dough is. This has got to be thick enough to roll, and right now it's not. This is be an awesome bread dough right now, if there was yeast in here. But maybe I'll do that another day. Pierogi buns or something like that. Okay. This is not going to be good enough to roll, but it does not need a lot of flour. And again, I can't tell you exactly how much this is because everybody's temperature and elevation who's watching this is different. And also the humidity will affect it. Now, I just grabbed about a cup of flour in a bowl. I've got my nice big spoon here. So let's say that's about 1/4 of a cup. I would not put it in any larger increments than that. And we'll do a test here. Yep, see, even low. Even low. This is probably it, because I did 1 notch above low and it started flying everywhere. That's looking nice already. Okay. Still a little, yeah. So, again, the same. This is what I was saying at the beginning, you know. It takes a lot longer to do this by hand. But the nice part about doing it by hand is you don't have to do these little tests. As you knead in flour from the sides, you can feel immediately with your hand if you've got the right amount. So in some ways the mixer is more difficult to gauge the quantities, but you do save time in the end. Okay, so let's see if ramping it up will pick up that little bit I can see at the bottom. Now, see, this is the problem here. There is no difference in sound on the last 3 settings, which means all I'm going to do is hurt the motor. So let's take a look at it here. No, still too wet. Okay. So, I'm going to put in half of what I did before. The closer you get, the less you want to put. And I probably should have started this by hand, but I figure why get everything dirty? Oh, here we go. I don't know if you can see. I'll move this around. When you start to see dry stuff on the side and it's doing that flap thing, you're nearly there. Yeah, look at that, eh? It's like it's got a life of its own. It's just gonna like run away. Okay, so just a bit more. I'd rather be safe than sorry because I'm rolling this out by hand and I do not want stuck stuff everywhere. And I got the spatula to get the last bit. I'll cut that whole thing out. See, now I only put, well, this is good. I hope it doesn't screw up, but it's good just to show you. And I'll bring the whole mixer closer. This mixer should be in a rodeo or something, you know? Look at that thing go. Okay, now I think it's enough because my motor's feeling quite warm there. Okay, so let's see where we are. Oh yeah, I can tell immediately. It's a little damp, but it has to rest for at least an hour. So I'm just going to pull this off. The hook, yeah, because it's a little damp, but it comes away from your fingers. Okay, and you got to remember that when you're making each pierogi, or even rolling it out, you're going to be putting a bit of flour, so it's not going to affect it excessively. And when you seal them, there won't be an issue with sealing them because they'll just stick without having to do any water or anything, which is what I really like about this. I thought the bowl had welded to the base and all the excitement there. Okay, so this just sat for a minute. I cleaned my spatula, and what's really cool that you can see is while it's a little sticky, it pulls away cleanly. Okay, this is your real test. Turn the dough out onto that. Slap it a couple of times just to see. The spatula does not stick, okay? That's the key thing. So if it wasn't ready, You slap it and you get a whole bunch of stuff coming up. Yeah, you do want it to rest for at least an hour. So what I do is I make kind of like this little package in the parchment. Now, oh, it feels, look at that. That's just so nice. Okay, nice and soft and pliable, which is exactly what you need for hand rolling. Okay, so I make this little package here. Now, the first time I did this, I just put it in the fridge like this. Now, because this is not airtight, the dough got hard and cracked on the surface, which didn't ruin them. It just wasn't as much fun as a totally smooth dough. Now, the reason I use parchment is it should come off cleanly, and we'll find out in at least an hour when I'm going to show you how to roll out some.